welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, then welcome. Hope you enjoy what you're about to see. So this video will be a Samut Voice of Dissent red, green, white untapped kind of tribal deck, I guess. It's really cool, and I'm sorry it took so long, but I had someone request this for me. Well, here it is. It's taken a while, but yeah. The reason videos can take a bit of time for me in particular compared to other YouTubers possibly is that I'm actually a free-to-play player, believe it or not. So since Arena's come out, obviously I downloaded it as soon as it came out, but I've probably only dropped money on it about 3 or 4 times, and it wasn't even much at all. My policy is kind of just grinding out for the stuff you need, because in essence you don't actually need to spend any money at all. Obviously, you know, when you look at my land base, you might think, oh my goodness, he has all the rare lands, and yeah, that's true. But don't forget, this has taken me absolute years. So if you're just starting out, don't fret. You'll get there eventually, and let me motivate you. I mean, you've seen how many videos I've got, about 100 or so videos, and yeah, you don't need to drop money on it at all. I mean, if it's your birthday or something, yeah, drop the money on it. So this is, back to the video, sorry. We'll get back to Samut. This is a tribal style tap video, and something interesting I found today was there is actually a search filter for things that tap. So if you type XT into the filter, it filters all the things in your deck with a tap ability, and that is kind of crazy that I've played it for like 3 or 4 years now, and I never ever knew this. It's a bit weird. Actually, I don't know why that shows up in the filter. Bit odd, but everything else that's been filtered does seem to have tap abilities on them, apart from these weird things like Escape to the Wilds for some reason, and Elspeth Conquers Death. Not sure why that would yield for a tap clause, but there you go. So the deck, as I said, utilises tap, and things that work the best are, I found, exert abilities, because the inherent downside of exert is it doesn't untap during the next untap step. So what that basically means is the card ability that it's trying to do is normally quite strong. Being able to cast Samut either before or after you've exerted is really good. You can either untap the creature to let it exert again, or just let it swing immediately with a haste. She has many applications. You could in fact build a haste tribal deck, a bit like my Ognis build a few videos ago. But I think untap's a bit more interesting because we don't see anything like this. It's very unique. And yeah, basically you want loads of tap abilities. Some of the best ones: Brash Taunter, being able to fight some creatures multiple times in a turn; Jaxis, being able to copy creatures 2 times in a turn. That's pretty crazy. Even like Krenko, who makes goblins equal to the number of goblins. So you tap it once, you make 1, then 2, then 4, and so on and so forth. Really powerful. It does require some outside of the box thinking. But pro tip for you: Amonkhet Remastered has a lot of the, well, currently the only cards with Exert are in Amonkhet Remastered. So open those boosters if you try and find these cards, or just unlock them using your wild cards. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's actually really fun and quite strong, considering nobody uses Samut. I don't think I've probably seen about 1 or 2 players in about 3 or 4 years use Samut. But I bet we're going to get some mirror matches now I've said that, aren't we? So yeah, like I said before, sorry it's taken so long for this video to come out. You know who you are. You've requested it, and here it is. But yeah, leave me a like and a sub if you appreciate what I've done with this deck. And yeah, check out my donations page if you are feeling generous, as that will really give me a boost, and it will help me make more content, essentially. So if you want to see more videos, take a look at the donations page. Okie dokie, so see you in the games. Ooh, okay, Florian is our foe, and our starting hand is Bow. Let's give this a go. They've mulliganed twice, so that's not going to be nice for them. Yeah, start with a tap land. Yeah, I really like our starting hand actually. Wild Class is absolutely incredible card. Being able to cheapen your creatures by 2 colour mana is incredibly rare. We don't normally see that. So what do we want to do? We could just go for the tap land here, or maybe the ramp. Yeah, I think ramping is important first. Oh, the animation for that is really satisfying. It's just so smooth. Can't believe they made that 2 and green. It used to be 1 green green. Alas. So there's so many options here. Definitely going to exile Florian though, because the advantage they get from that is kind of crazy. That doesn't leave us with much else. I suppose we can go for Bard class. That will make our following turn amazing. And I could go for the Ringheart Crest here. Yeah, let's just optimise our mana. And then we'll choose humans, because our Samut is a human. Are we human? Or are we warrior? So they've foretold this, so that could be Poison the Cup. That's what I'm guessing. So once again, I could just ramp up to 5, but then we can't utilise the cards that are exiled at the top anyway. So I reckon let's go for Escape to the Wilds. Let's basically just build up our late game. Wonderful. So annoyingly, we can't cast many of these. Well, we'll see what they do, but opponent is being really reserved. If they play a creature, we have a kill spell. If its power is 4, okay, they don't go for any of those things. Let's go for the Forsaken Crossroads here. Land on top. You know what? That's fine. Although maybe we should have gone for the Into the North first. I guess we could bait out the Poison the Cup. It's a pretty good card though. Like exert, draw a card on attack. Kind of sweet. Go for the Signet. And then I suppose in order to optimise our plays, we'll go for the Giant Killer. And then Poison the Cup goes for... I'll play with fire. Okay. And there we go. Sometimes knowledge is a curse, after all. Knowing too much drives one mad. But what can you expect? It's a red-black deck. And they're going to have a lot of kill spells. Wasn't the most exciting Escape to the Wilds, but there you go. So now they're going to look at the top card. If it's a land, they get to play it. So it's not a land, so that's going to get exiled. So what can we do? We want to... Oh, this is kind of crazy. So all our creatures have haste. So go for Samut. And then that means the Tactician basically pays for itself. Scry. Sorry about that, my boy is trying to sleep. So we'll add the green here. And then we can go for Krenko. Krenko has haste, so let's tap it. Then we can swing in with Samut. Oh, this is just disgusting. And then when she hits... Actually, we can leave her up as a blocker. We don't even have to do it here. Yeah. So we'll pass to the opponent. See what they do. So we can try and block the Florian. I've got double strike. They've got first strike. If anything does go wrong, then exile up to that many. Oh, it's like a mini torrential Gearhawk, isn't it? Okay. So they're going to get a spell, Poison the Cup. Okay, still good though. See what they target. So they go for Samut, sure. That was to be expected though, isn't it? So we'll untap the Krenko. and they've just realised that we can make loads more goblins, so that was pretty awesome. Oh, this is really cool. Facing Trustani Discordant, which I don't recall facing before, so this is going to be nice. It's always nice to have a different deck to face, isn't it? I feel like it's maybe the algorithm's getting slightly better or something, but yeah, there seems to be more of a vast array of decks. Maybe because I'm just using loads of different decks, but I hope one day we can get to a point where it's just everyone's mindset kind of changes and we all diversify a bit rather than just tier 1. Just a note actually on, because I get a lot of comments of people saying, why don't you use X, Y, Z in the deck? Well, there's a few answers. Most of the time it's probably because I forgot. To be honest, that's my honest answer. I can't remember every good card. But also, I don't have access to every card. Because as I said in the intro, I'm an F2P player. So I have to be selective with my rares and mythics. I do unlock stuff fairly quick. I do open a lot of packs. I draft a lot to get rares and stuff. So, yeah. I just, guess apologise if I'm not using your favourite cards. But I'm sure you will see them eventually. So that's a bit of a shame. Okay, this is fine. So we've got a board wipe on our hand. Let's just go for human. Distracted myself there by giving a monologue. But yeah, so they could go for the Trustani. Oh, they're going to go Trustani next turn. That's actually good for us because we need to cultivate for another planes. So they're going to draw some cards. Yeah, let's cultivate, get a couple of planes, and then in our next turn we can explode the field with the beginner new. So it's actually worked out quite well, to be honest. I could go for the steward, but I'd rather not. It seems like an awful waste, and if we keep creatures in our hands, the beginner new actually perpetually makes them +1/+1. This board wipe, by the way, is, I think, an auto include in any Selesnya deck. I would use a rare wildcard on this if you could, because it's a 4-drop, a 4-mana board wipe, which is absolutely the prime cost. There are board wipes that cost 5 and 6 that do more things. I think the only exception I'd give for a board wipe that costs more than 4 is probably Farewell, which is exile any number of permanents and graveyards. So it's basically like an Ugin. And I think that's about it. 5 mana board wipes, I don't know, it's only a difference of 1 mana, right? I get that. But it's a huge difference if you can't get that mana. So just be wary. Obviously you can use what you want, but that's just my preference. It's probably because I'm spoiled now with the 4 mana board wipes. They're making loads of them in standard. Believe it or not, there was actually a time when they said, we aren't making 4 mana board wipes anymore. And then guess what? They went back on their word. Which is so unlike Wizards, isn't it? So we just cleared the whole field there. How much mana did we take out? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana's worth for 4. This goes back to a previous argument I had. Not argument, but just a thing I said where you should always include board wipes even if you're playing aggro. Because you cannot, I repeat, you cannot ensure that your opponent isn't playing aggro. And everyone always thinks, oh, board wipes hurt your deck. That is true. But if you don't have a field, just like I just didn't there, then, So we've actually got 2 board wipes here, so let's get rid of the Sentinel first. Happy to pay for that one. And so we can create a token. If we exert it, create a 1/1 with Vigilance. 3, 4, 5, 6. So if they play a land, they can go for the Trostani. Okay, yeah, I'm happy to hold back, I think. So, annoyingly, we do need another board wipe. Champion of Landhold is going to trigger a lot of times, because it says whenever another creature enters, put a counter on Champion of Landhold. That's really powerful, because normally abilities like this say non-token. But this says any creature basically enters. And creatures with power less than Champion of Lamb holds power can't block creatures you control. The wording on this card is actually an anomaly. It's actually really weird. Because it's a singular ability that affects your entire field. And that's the first ability, but the second ability also says any creature, which is weird. It's two weird abilities in one card. Probably why it's so powerful. Okay, let's exert this here. Sorry, that's my deep analysis of that card there. Sorry if you don't like that kind of thing. This might be the wrong channel for you if you don't like overthinking things. Well, but to anyone who is here for the overthinking, well, thank you very much. We're one and the same, aren't we? Okay, so we could go for Samut. Right, what to do? So go for... Yeah, let's go for Samut here. And then we can swing in. Although they might have a removal, of course. Which would be sad. Maybe they've got a Swords to Plowshares. I'm still not sure why Path to Exile isn't in the format. Because we've got Swords, which is older and stronger. Because Path, giving someone a land is actually a lot worse than giving them life. Because a land gives them half their command attacks back. So the fact we don't have Path, maybe it's a symptom of having a really powerful one. So I think the logic would be if they gave us Path to Exile as well, then White would have two one-drop spells that just exiles anything. Maybe that's why, but the fact they gave us Swords first is bewildering to me. But then again, so is everything else that Wizards does. Opponent there is hanging around on your priority, so I'm not sure what they were waiting for. Oh my goodness. Okay, Panamonican, that's really powerful. So when they play Trostani, they're going to get 4 1/1s instead. Let's see what they do here. Okay, so we can untap the Steward and then create another 1/1. So it's quite unassuming, isn't it, just having 1/1s here and there, but... Do they have a removal spell? Don't really know. There's a lot of hanging about though. Okay, so what can we do? They probably don't have a board wipe in their hand. So if we go for Canopy Tactician, this basically pays for itself. Bear in mind, I did not put this in here for the Elf Lord part. That is completely, you know, just tacked on. I added it for the fact that it just taps for 3 green and then I can untap it and then add another 3 green. Which is bonkers, isn't it? Really. So we'll use some of that to equip the Samut. So I've got 1, 2... Yeah, if we go for the Signet, that means we still have the mana up for untapping something else, so that'll be useful. So we go to combat, try and swing with Samut. They could have a defense mechanism here. Obviously, when the wedding announcement flips, it's going to be kind of scary because all their creatures get +1/+1. That's an anthem we don't really want to see, but... So no blocks from them. They're getting whacked for a fair amount here, and we're gaining life, which is going to be really important. Sacking to draw, so that maybe they're starting to panic a bit. Down to 8. Okay, and I guess we'll just pass the turn. So bear in mind that Trostani gives you soldiers with lifelink, so they're going to be really big at the end of the turn. But we do have Samut, which is really awesome as a blocker. Trample, lifelink, double strike, vigilance, haste. That's a lot of keywords. It's almost like when designing Samut, someone spilled the bucket of keywords that they had. Yeah, flash, trample, lifelink, double strike, vigilance, haste. Other creatures have haste. Untap the creature. I mean, I know that Shadow Spear's given their 2 abilities there, but Okay, and then we'll untap the steward again, so we can create another 1/1. So as I said, not amazing, but it's something, isn't it? Sure thing. So they're on 8, so they're going to want... Oh, okay, escape to the wilds. Let's use the escape, see if we get anything good here. Removal would be good. Wrath of God. Okay. So what would be good? Wrath of God is... We can cast that until the end of the next turn. So maybe Brash Taunter would be good. Or maybe Jaxis. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know what to do here. Pardon me. What do I do? Do I go for Brash Taunter? Or Jaxis? Go for Brash Taunter. And... yeah, okay. We'll pass the turn. Bit worried about their field. So the reason I played the Brash Taunter there is because it has Indestructible. Crater Hoof. Oh my god. Well, that's us done then, isn't it? Okay, fine. Bear witness to the most boring win con you'll ever see. So because of Trample, oh, do you know what's really annoying about this as well? If we had red mana, we could have untapped the Brash Taunt. Hang on a sec. So if we untap Canopy Tactician. Yeah, we don't have the red mana. If we had red mana, we could have had the Brash Taunt to fight the Behemoth and they'd actually be dead. Oh well, let that be a lesson then. Let's just take millions of damage. Yeah, it doesn't matter because they've all got Trample. Literally makes no difference. But yeah, also, if it didn't have Trample, then it would just be 25 straight up to Brash Taunter, back to them. Although, actually, would it be a draw at that point? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, Crazy Behemoth. Just a BS card, to be honest. Opponent goes first with Katana of the West Tree. Mono green ramping. Using modified creatures to enable the second part of the ability here. So if they hit you with a modified creature, they get a mana, a land from the deck onto the battlefield tapped. So let's go for let's go for the temple because that's our white source. And right now we want land so we can get the Glory Bringer out and start hitting them with this. And then we can start untapping it with Samut. I think Glory Bringer is probably Samut's best friend here. So it could go for the Catilda, but I think Into the North is just a bit better because it can't be killed as easily. So go for Tap Snow. And also we want to get closer to the Glory Bringer. Playing Catilda does mean our humans tap for 1 mana of any colour. But Reese is an elf warrior, so there's no synergy with those two, unfortunately. But mainly Catilda is in here for the 6 and tap to put a counter on each creature you control. You can do that twice in 1 turn, that's pretty awesome. Bard class. Okay, so let's go for the Bard class and then the Catilda. So it looks like they might be able to ramp a couple times here if they can get some counters or auras on their creatures. But if they do, depending on what it is, our Glorybringer should be able to deal with one of them at least. They're going to cycle or use ability to put counters on here. Snakeskin Veil, well at least that's one defensive spell down. I suppose if you're desperate for the ramp, it was a necessary thing to do. Blizzard Brawl, wow, okay. So what are the odds that they've got another hexproof effect? Not sure. Let's see if we can get the Glorybringer off here. Kill the Kodama. And that'll slow him down a tad. And then if we get an extra mana in our next turn, we can go for Samut and untap the Glorybringer and do it all over again. Guardian Project comes down with no land drop. Stone Rain, okay. I think let's go for the Bard class. Uptick that. We can play Reese to Redeem for free, which is just pretty crazy. And they missed a land drop. Let's go for the Sarith first. It's a really good blocker. Gives other tapped creatures you control Death Touch and other untapped creatures you control Hexproof. So the synergy with Sarith and Samut is awesome. You can kind of work around targeted spells. Samut can come in, untap something, give it Hexproof as well, which is really awesome. Okay, so it looks like they've gone for the snow-covered forest as a creature. I think we can just kill that. Or actually no, let's not do that. Let's swing both of these into Nissa. We'll kill the forest with the 4 damage here. Or try to anyway. Okay, that worked. See what they do. Wow, they just let the Nissa die? Oh, that's interesting. Maybe they should have blocked and in their turn they would have had 10 mana. Who knows? We go first against Farron the Henchhammer. Mono green, kind of, yeah, very aggressive deck. They'll be looking to just play lots of heavy hitters. And then when Farron attacks, can boost the power of another target attacking creature. So we've got Day of Judgment here, which is going to be good, but I want to go for the Arcane Signet first. And this does also leave up these Swords to Plowshares, but I'm not really keen on casting this until we resolve the Day of Judgment, I think. Let's see what they do. Okay, so we missed a land drop. So maybe we'll just go for Mila here. And then if they target it, we get to draw a card. It might push us into our next land drop. So I don't actually mind if they kill the Mila. Yeah, draw a card. Land drop. Okay, we got a land drop, so it should be good. So that was a bit of a gambit. Play another creature, go on. Fantastic. So our Day of Judgment here is going to be fantastic. I mean, consider that's already 11 damage on turn 3. Pretty insane. So we're going to have to Day of Judgment here. It does look like this would be a great match for Brash Taunter as well, because if we get to block, they will basically die from the damage that this deflects back. Do not underestimate this general, it is very crazy how powerful an uncommon can be. Harbinger. So because of mono green, I do not think they have a way to deal with the Taunter. So resolving him here is going to be awesome. Yeah, indestructible versus green. They might have some kind of enchantment. I'm not sure there's any enchantments in green. Oh yeah, they could have the Kenrith's transformation. That would be annoying, because it would make it a 3-3, however it would remove all the abilities. Okay. So at least we hit a land drop. So let's give a showdown. Once we hit to stage 2 and 3 of showdown, we can start putting counters on the taunter. As if no lands. Okay. Sure. Land on the top's fine. And yeah, happy to just pass the turn. Giant Killer could be nice. We've got a couple of really good removal spells versus their green deck. The thing we need to watch out for though is Trample. They don't have Trample yet. But until they get Trample, we should be fairly safe, to be honest. Still Leaf Champion, that will be a problem if that can ever get through, but I don't think it is going to be able to get through, to be honest. Opponent at this point probably realising how insanely good Brash Taunter is. Okay, counter on there. So we'll block the big one. And we'll take 3 for now, I think, unless they choose to pump it, which they don't. 4 damage deflected back is pretty cool. But yeah, we will Swords the Steel Leaf Champion here. Sweet. So whenever we cast a spell this turn, we put a counter on a creature we control. So we definitely want to kill this. And we can kill that as well. Oh no, we can't. That's power 4. So actually, yeah, that was a bit of a misplay. We should have used the Giant Killer on this, but it doesn't matter because we can just go for Imara. And yeah, it's not the end of the world. We actually get more counters out of this. Yeah, indestructible. You know, I doubt they can deal with that, to be perfectly honest. 5/5, they're going to struggle with that. And yeah, don't need to attack, we'll just stay defensive, because we never know how much trample they're going to have with the Seth Farron. Yeah, it's a very different game because we're being really defensive, but yeah, obviously they basically couldn't deal with the Taunter, so if you can resolve a Taunter, you're in good shape versus green, I'll tell you that. If you've had fun watching this video, don't forget to leave me a like and a sub, and to check out my Ko-fi donations page, where you can donate as little or as much as you want. And check out some more videos to keep watching.